Okay, we are going to move on to our next session. And without further ado, I would like to bring the fabulous Gina Bleedorn, President and CEO of Adrenaline, up to the stage. She's going to be talking about future-proofing the branch experience by design. Let's welcome Gina to the stage.
Good morning. Thank you. I am going to talk today about more things than I usually talk about. And it's going to be a lot for 9 a.m. on a Monday. But I think it is some important areas that the industry needs to hear. We're 4 years out from COVID. And we have figured out that branches do matter, as evidenced by Andrea and Ann. What a great perspective from the biggest bank in the country and a community bank right here. I'm going to talk about how you get there, how you get where you want to get, getting the most value out of your branch network. But I'm going to begin with some inspirational headlines from not too long ago. Thank you, Forbes, in 2019. Then a similarly exciting one from FinExtra in 2020. And Forbes again in 2020. That's nice. And then in 22, this was accurate. We had a record high of branch closures, 38%, which was the great reconciliation post-COVID. A lot of it, we think, were maybe decisions that should have been made anyway that COVID accelerated. And Wall Street Journal in 22, as a result of all those closures, banks are ditching their branches. You should ditch them too. Yet, in 2023, U.S. banks added more net new branches for the first time in a decade. And then some major banks like TD, one of our clients, renovating hundreds of stores, they announced, and opening 150 new ones by 27. Bank of America, renovating entire network, expanding into 9 markets by 26. PNC, another one of our clients, says investing $1 billion on building 100 new branches and renovating every branch by 28. And of course, Jamie and Chase, as Andrea explained, they've been the poster child. They made another announcement, opening 500, renovating 1,700 in the next 3 years. And what Jamie says simply is that people like to visit their money. The nature changes, but people still go there. And they have the stats to prove it. Andrea talked about them. Gosh, they're getting 85% of business checking accounts opened in the branch. Over half of their mortgages opened in the branch. 75% of their balances are held by regular branch users. And maybe most interestingly, they have 6 times more digital engagement in markets where they have physical branches. They change, and they must change, but people are still going there. And that's what I'm going to talk today about, really how to acclimate to the branch paradox, where branches are closing and opening. Networks are shrinking and strategically growing. Customers want digital convenience, but they also want physical interaction. Branches are considered old school, but also essential for the future, and they are your biggest expense, but also your greatest opportunity. And hitting you with a little data here, supporting this, over the last 18 months, consumers used branches more than any other channel for advice, solving problems, and acquiring new customers. Half of consumers say they'll use in-branch banking in the next year. Over half of accounts were originated there. 7 of 10 are turning to the branch to solve problems. And on the graph on the right, you see it is still, and there are report after report after report showing the same thing. After fees, branches are why people choose you. Branch access, ATM access. And if you aren't aware or haven't thought about Gen Z, who used to be just little children but now have jobs and are real adult people, they are actually wanting to go to the branch more, 3 times more than boomers. They are actually visiting the branch. We published a white paper. You can take a picture and download it if you haven't. Gen Z and the Future of Finance, just outlining what younger generations want from branches. They don't have the assumptions of old that you go into a branch to deposit your check, or they don't even know what checks are, or withdraw money. And so they think that's a place I can go to ask somebody about money, and so they want to go in. That's a major opportunity for you, but it's also a risk if the environment is not acclimated to what they want to see. So in summary, this shift is there's less frequent visits, but more meaningful ones. It's less about transactions, much more about relationships. It is not digital versus human, it is digital supporting human. And in the physical channel, it is human-led. It is not even just for customers, it's also for communities. Your physical spaces are investments in your community. And it's not so much about banking as about experiencing your brand and what that means for people. So in this journey from going from the old purpose, hopefully none of your branches look like that black and white one, to the new purpose, I'm going to talk about how to move from doing things the old way to the new way. And I continue to be surprised at how many clients I talk to that are doing a lot of things the old way. And so I'm here to help illuminate you as to what the new way might be in some areas. 3 specifically. 1, how you spend money. How do you make decisions? 2, how you make change when you are converting a branch from one brand to another, from renovating, from refreshing, any kind of branch change to existing branches, especially so many of you raised your hand that you're renovating in addition to opening and closing. And then 3, how do you grow them? And this is really about branch marketing and cross-sell. So we'll start with number 1, how to decide how and where to do what with data. Please use data. So the old way is that you make a plan, and so many people have plans. Plans are how you're going to spend money, and only recently was it brought to my attention the real difference between a strategy and a plan. And a lot of times those things are kind of commingled. But a plan is really just how you're going to spend money. And as it were for many of you, there's many plans there. And those plans might be occurring in different silos. You have consolidations, you have renovations, you have technology upgrades, you're delivering new products and services. And all of these things cost money. And so in many cases, plans are being developed, maybe not completely in an integrated way, to spend money in all of these areas. The new way is, instead of just making a plan, make a strategy first to inform that plan. And I want to talk about what that really means. What is strategy when it comes to the brand network? Stakeholder alignment, first and foremost. Everybody singing from the same songbook on integrated choices that are breaking down silos that position you to win, that is informed by an underbed of data. And we have recently at Adrenaline actually teamed up with Curanos for giving even better data to our clients. Curanos is the industry's leading source of data, so that's why we like them. Wherever you get your data, just make sure it's good and make sure you're getting the relevant insights you need from it. And only then can you actually make a plan. And these are examples of the difference between what a strategy and a plan is. A little more about strategy, starting with the core root of why. The new purpose for branches for consumers are literally as follows. Number 1, they see branches as the front door. They are the brand beacon. Perceived convenience is the name of the game. Do I think you're everywhere you need to be? And having a connection with the community. That's purpose 1. Followed by purpose 2, which is financial advice, especially with the younger people. Expert consultation in times that really matter and expanding share of wallet. And then number 3 is human service. This is elevating when you need human help because something went wrong. It is also human connection in times where you're the most vulnerable. And 4 is basic transactions when virtual channels can't do them. And this is inverted from what banks used to be. literally inverted. This is what the new purpose is. This new purpose for consumers needs to match the purpose for you. This is how you derive value from your branch network. So the front door for them means acquisition for you. Financial advice for them means share of wallet and cross-sell for you. Human service for them means largely attrition mitigation and loyalty, aka loyalty for you. And then basic transactions is actually an opportunity for you to become more efficient. Now, as you think about this spectrum from efficiency, loyalty, cross-sell, and acquisition, this is really a spectrum of savings to growth. This is the value, and I challenge you to ask the question, how much value are you getting out of your branches? So if you looked at a spectrum like this and you plotted your branches on it, where would they be? And here you see them plotted. Deposit portfolio is the size of the bubble. Now, let's say you do that and you figure out I'm getting this much value, but the real unknown question is how much value could I be getting? How much room is in the market? And so then you look at the market from low opportunity to high opportunity. And so there's an absolute scale of the US, of every market in the US ranked, but there's also a relative scale for you. So plot your markets, and then within that relative scale, segment them. And then if you look at the segments like this, you start to see some things like, wait a minute, I'm in my growth market, I have my least branch investment and my least branch presence, and I have a lot in selective growth and even legacy. Those are opportunities to shift delivery. It could be relocating, it could be closing, it could be 2-for-1 consolidations, it could be refreshes and renovation. But you've got to shift to align because right now this network is out of alignment with the market. It's overinvested in markets that are saturated without enough room. The trick to how to connect those dots is archetypes. And archetypes look kind of like this. These are different delivery models, and they can have different names. They're developed that custom for you, your market, your brand, and your needs. These delivery archetypes are how you match in a prioritized plan way, how you start to flip each of those bubbles to a new archetype to align with the market opportunity. And this is really a little peek under the curtain of secret sauce and how we do this for clients. This is what it looks like. There's kind of a line of value that is actually dividing the idea of a strategy with the idea of a plan. Above the line is alignment. We call it your North Star. What is your vision for retail? Then you have analytics about the market. Then you have those delivery archetypes to then inform the branch actions and then create a roadmap. And so it's really an important distinction between especially the archetypes on the strategy side and the branch actions are on the planning side. That is how we look at strategy versus planning. And these are examples of then what those type of strategies look like. So on the front door, these are beautiful, they're ground ups, they're flagship locations, they're urban storefronts, and they're projecting like a beacon. On the cross-sell side, similarly inside, it creates room for conversation. On the loyalty side, you have concierge to triage needs, and on the efficiency side, you have amplified self-service. Area 2, change, converting and upgrading your branches. So like for like is the old way. I had a teller line, I will make it a better teller line. I have a sign, I will make it a better sign. But actually, the better way to think about this is like for right. And it doesn't always mean more expensive. It just means rethought in the way it needs to be. And consider that, by the way, the range of change looks like this and very much needs to be informed by analytics. So in this range, you've got a visual, and then you flip a line when you start getting around 200, 300K into operational change. And so you could have rebrands, refreshes, or renovations. Make sure that you're spending only what you'll get a return of in the market. And I'll share an example of this was a rebrand. Flagstar had New York Community Bank, which by the way had multiple affiliate brands, Flagstar, and then later during the conversion, they acquired Signature, and we were their partner to create the new branch experience and convert it all to the new brand. And there was some room, some opportunity for growth. Here's some special pictures I'm sure they love I'm showing you right now. And so we had to reconcile, and when in the finished examples of before and after, there is a monument sign versus a pylon sign. Let's do what's actually right for this location because of visibility. Do we want the color logo on a white background or reverse it out of black where it's far more visible? Do we need that red band, or can we reduce the red color so the orange really pops, and then do architectural banding around the building? This is like for right, not like for like. And then on the inside, same thing. We're looking at, instead of just painting everywhere gold that was red, we're only allocating gold for the right areas, and we're putting only the right things in the right places. And then even on ATMs, there was a poster frame with no poster in it. We don't need that there, so let's get rid of it. And also whatever that other bulletin board is on the side. And so here on the bottom, there was a little screen in the wrong place. Let's replace that with a big digital screen in the right place, et cetera, et cetera. This is like for right. And so as you are thinking about whatever your current state looks like, make sure you realize that there are different levels of change. $40,000 or $50,000 can give you a standard kit of parts and a clean sweep, but $50,000 or $65,000 can get you new furniture. Or add another $20,000 or $10,000, depending on how nice they are, you can get new desks. Or you can shift the operational model and bring in teller pods instead of a teller line, et cetera, et cetera. So this is how you go about implementing change in a methodical way that's not just doing what you did before. And the third area, the area of growth, marketing and cross-sell at the branch, which I think is kind of an afterthought, mostly for most people in the industry. And it's really because it's a hard channel, but it is in fact a channel. And so I encourage you to think about it as you think about all of their channels. Now, it's like no other channel because people are completing a task, they're not having fun. Your relationship building, you're not buying, it's not Snickers and donuts, it's one-to-many. It is not one-to-one, and it can't be. It is really hard to track. It's like a black hole of information. There is no clicks. What's my ROI of my branch marketing? It is really hard to give that because it's just a point on the journey, and customers are doing whatever they want, however they want to do it. It's not an easy funnel, and as mentioned, you have so little visibility into it. And another inspirational imagery here, a lot for most. I could spend a lot of time. There's some posters and frames that didn't fit. They cut them. There's whiteboards. There's grandma's decor. And there's just, I think I covered up, maybe not some of them, some of the names, maybe not all of them. I love my clients, but there was opportunity and room to grow here. And so the real point is that there's incredible business advantage when branch marketing is done right. And this is something so overlooked. It can increase your share of wallet. It can increase your relevancy and being top of mind. It expands from interactions to advisory, which is exactly what you want the branch channel to do. It connects your brand. It even brings your brand into the branch. It enables consistency and cohesion. And it increases advocacy. Anne even mentioned, I want to be somewhere I like the way it looks to work there. And so that's some of what branch marketing can do for you. So when thinking about it, think about the exterior and think about the interior. This is an oldie but goodie that we did for Wells Fargo back when it converted from Wachovia. And outside, it was all about windows. So when you think about your windows, allow visibility in, but do something on the outside. It's real estate that you own. And then this is showing how they would refresh their program 3 times a year. Sometimes we would have local customization, sometimes not. and it would align with advertising. And so this is what branch marketing looks like on the outside, a specific area of the window dedicated for marketing. And other examples, that was Wells Fargo, but these are two community credit unions that also don't do that. What that is, don't do marketing like that up as signage. That's not good. But what we were able to do for Everwise is bring it down to the windows. So there's window messaging, there's just a brand play. And then another example for Yumi, they're a one-branch credit union, and they use this space for marketing and advertising right above their ATMs. On the inside, it's about relationship building. And so here we have all of these marketing opportunities. You can see them that are designed to be at the point in the journey when people want to see them. And this is showing some before and afters of doing that, of showing marketing opportunities that weren't being leveraged optimally from before or after. So think about it as a channel, not as an afterthought. And here's some more examples of corporate. Corporate branding matters too for a credit union and a community bank. These were opportunities to bring purpose, to bring values, to bring mission. This is how to do smarter marketing. This is another little peek under the tent thing. This is how we do it for our clients. Right place, right message, right delivery. The right vehicle in the right zone, the right type of message, mixing brand with marketing, and the right delivery, playlisting, and marketing calendars that make sense. So, in summary, how to get there in retail future proofing. Getting from the old way to the new way. It must start with alignment, whatever you're doing, whether it's marketing, whether it's renovations, refresh, or entire network distribution planning. You have to start with purpose and a North Star. And then the secret sauce of everything, what we do at Adrenaline and what I would impart to all of you, think about data-driven strategy, not just planning, data-driven strategy, meeting very purpose-led, purposeful design. And that will align you with your North Star. And I will finally leave you with this quote from a futurist from the 70s that nobody knows named Alvin Toffler. But I love this quote. You've got to think about big things while you're doing the small things so that all the small things go in the right direction. Thank you, everyone.